This is the book of Psalm 101 and 7, and it reads, He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within mine house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. Verse 8, I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. And with that, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI. YAHWAH is the name of the Heavenly Father in whom the world has ignorantly called Jehovah or Yahweh. And YAHWASHI is the name of his only begotten Son in whom the world has ignorantly called Jesus Christ, in whom we do worship. We are the Hebrew Israelites, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American, and Seminole Indians, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greetings, giving double honors unto my apostles, my elders, and my teachers at Great Millstone that are ruling well and continue to do so, that taught me and brothers like me this truth, this beautiful truth, beginning with the names of our power and of his anointed. Now these are the two most important things you will ever know. The name of the Heavenly Father and the name of his only begotten Son, their true and proper names in the ancient Paleo-Hebrew, our language, the Shalawam QADASH, which means holy tongue. Shalawam meaning tongue and QADASH meaning holy. Now these be the names that are written. The name of the Heavenly Father is YAHAWAH. Yah meaning he, Hawa meaning exists or is to be. He is. He exists. He, the existing one. And in the name of his only begotten Son, that has a name that is above every name. And you must know the Father in order to know the Son. In order to know the Father, you must believe in the Son. For the Father, he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him, and he shall bring you to his Son. No man can come to the Father, no man can come to YAHWASHI, save the Father draw him. And that is the true and proper name of the Heavenly Father's Son. Even YAHWASHI. Yah, meaning he, Hawashai, meaning deliverer and savior. And that is exactly what he's going to come and do for the second time in physical form, yet as an angelic force, for he has already saved us from ourselves, from sin and from death, by shedding his precious blood over 2,000 years ago, so that we may enter into a new agreement, a new covenant. It is made with the same people, but yet it is based on better promises, for the law that was written on stone shall be placed within our inward parts, and we shall fashion a body like unto his glorious body. For where there is no sin, there is no death, and we shall never die, hence entering into eternal life. And this is life eternal, to know the one true power and the one whom he have sent. So now that you know the name of the Heavenly Father, which is YAHWAH, and the name of his only begotten Son, YAHWASHI, you must call upon these names when you pray. Call upon these names when you are in distress. Call upon these names when you bless a brother or a sister in the faith, or your household, or your children. Call upon these names, and you will see the power thereof. All right, let me get, what was that, Jeremiah 48. Now, this is a continuation of the lessons I've been doing. The fight for Jerusalem. But this is going to be called the fight for Jerusalem. The Lord's one is an edifying lesson. This is going to be called the fight for Jerusalem, the destruction of idolatry. Okay? So let me, no disturbances. So this is the fight for Jerusalem. The Lord's one, you enjoyed the music. Hey, last kingdom. All right. It goes in. But hey, man, it's a spirit. But let's go to Jeremiah 48. Hey, man, hey, the Lord is with the mighty men of valor. Okay. He's with us to do a great work. He was with David. All right. Tens of thousands was laid down by David. Okay. He was a man after the Lord's own heart. So, hey, there's no excuse, man. We can't hold back, whether it be from our own people or these heathen. Okay? We can't do the work of the Lord deceitfully. We must do it in spirit and in truth, in sincerity and in truth. Hey, our apostles, elders, brothers are bringing out the MOTB, the prophecies that are yet to come, World War III, Jacob's trouble, evil that have never been seen since there was a nation, Daniel 12 and 1 on down, knowledge shall be greatly increased. Okay? When this gospel shall be preached, then the end shall come. All these things. Then we go into the history. We go into our language. We go into our culture. We go into our customs. We go into who we are. We go into our enemies. We go into the heathen, and that they're going to be destroyed and put into captivity because they put us into captivity. We return our people back into the name of our Father and our Savior. But you got other clowns not doing such. So the Lord is going to cut them down and cut them off. Praise ye the Lord. Okay? The fight for Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. But it must be a destruction of idolatry throughout our whole nation. Okay? And the Lord is going to do away with 2/3 of his own people for their insolence. And the Lord is allowing us to hewn down by way of the word these naysayers, these workers of iniquity that do the work of the Lord deceitfully. They're going to be hewn down. All right? Okay, now this is Jeremiah 48 and 10. Cursed be he that doth the work of the Lord. Salakia, hey, I said word. Hey, these dudes don't even go into the word. These other guys I'm talking about, these idolaters. Okay, it's Jeremiah 48 and 10. How dare you call on the name of Christ? How dare that name come out your mouth now that you have entered into the truth? YAHAWAH is the name of the Heavenly Father, and YAHAWASHI is the name of his only begotten Son. Now, his proper title, where these dudes go to Christ for, which means anointed, his proper title is HaMashiach, which goes back to Messiah, where you get Messiah from. Ha meaning the, Mashiach meaning anointed. He's the anointed, the anointed. HaMashiach is his true title. Okay? And this is Jeremiah 48 and 10. Cursed be he that doth the work of the Lord YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM deceitfully. And cursed be he that keepeth back his sword from blood. You see that? The sword is the word of the Heavenly Father, and we're not keeping it back from blood. We're hewing down and slaying down whoever stands in the way. For this sword is sharper, or this word is sharper than any two-edged sword. Let me get that. Okay. Hebrews. Pass, okay. Oh, yeah. Hebrews 4:12. And it reads, for the word of YAHAWAH is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart, of your mind. See that? Man, it is what it is, man. BARAK. That's why I read in Psalm 101, and that was a Psalm of David. He said, I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, so that may be cut off from the city of the Lord. All right, and I'm going to go into some history of Jehu, all right, who became a king over the northern kingdom, and he did the Lord's work. He didn't keep back his sword from blood. He slaughtered the whole house of Ahab and all that pertained unto Ahab and all that went after Baal. He put their ass down, and it was beautiful. Call all Yimla Yabashimashai. And David had that same spirit. If you ain't for the Lord, then your ass is being hewn down. The hell with you. I don't give a damn if you of my own people or you a goddamn heathen. Your ass is being hewn down. And there's a lot of our people that proclaim themselves to be Israel, but you calling on an idol. Your ass gonna be hewn down. All right? No mercy is gonna be shown you. All right? Because you don't call in the name of our power. And you belittle our power and his son as if they're a joke. Hey, but the Lord gonna have it. Hey, He laugheth in the heavens at you. You're the one that's as foolish. Are you stronger than he? Let me get that. Are we stronger than he? Provoking the Lord? All right. Lord going to destroy you guys, man, and these other groups. Sick of that damn name Christ. Sick of that. That's not the Lord's title. That's not his name. Hamashiach is the true title. The anointed. All right. This is 1 Corinthians 10 and 22. Do we provoke the Lord, YAHAWASHI, to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? You see? Come on now. You can't fight against the Lord. Come on now. You're fighting a losing battle every time. So how dare you? All right. Man, this is Ecclesiasticus 28 and 10. As the matter of the fire is, so it burneth. And as a man's strength is. Now we know a man's strength far surpasses the strength of a woman and a child. But how much more another man stronger than that man? His strength is even greater than that man. But then how much more a God compared to a man? Come on now. And the Lord has unlimited power. But you damn clowns want to belittle his name as if you ain't going to get your ass destroyed. Okay? You going to be destroyed. It says, as the matter of the fire is, so it burneth. And as a man's strength is, so is his wrath. And according to his riches, and the Lord is rich in majesty and in mercy and in correction. Woo! It's infinite. It says, and according to his riches, his anger rises, and the Lord is angry. And the stronger they are which contend, the Lord is the strong as ever. All right? How you think he going to contend? The more they will be inflamed. And in hasty contention kindleth the fire. We've seen that with these two groups. All right? But you kindling the fire against the Almighty One and his Son. Oh, man, they going to come with it. And they going to destroy you wicked groups. You wicked men. You idolaters. Okay? And in hasty fighting sheddeth blood. Verse 12. If thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, because you want to quell the situation. But a lot of you dudes don't want to quell the situation because you're too gone. You're mad upon your idols. That's why the Lord told us to leave Ephraim, which is a representation of the northern kingdom as a whole. But then Ephraim is actually the tribe, the head tribe of the northern kingdom, which are the so-called Puerto Ricans. The Lord told us in the scripture, just leave them alone. Okay, they're going after their idols. Let them alone. Just leave them alone. Lord gonna deal with them in his own time. But hey, we gotta contend for the faith. You can't bring no weak ass Jesus Christ into this thing. That's not the Lord's name. The Lord is a Hebrew. He has a Hebrew name. His name is YAHAWASHI. And the name of our Father, the God over heaven and earth, the one that brought the great flood, the one that destroyed Egypt, all right, the one that destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah and those neighboring cities, his name is Yahawah. The nations known him as Allah Shadia, which going back to the Hebrew, Allah meaning power, Shadia meaning almighty, okay, or demon-like, or a higher power. Okay, the nations knew our God as a demon-like power or almighty force, a power, man. Okay, he wasn't playing no games with nobody. All right, it says, if thou blow the spark, it shall burn. If thou spit upon it, it shall be quenched. Both these come out of thy mouth. See, you can stop something or start something. And we're stopping you niggas' mouths that must be stopped. You damn idolaters. Okay, calling on some idol. They ain't done nothing for nobody. Ain't done nothing for our people. Ain't doing nothing for you. We gonna call on the name of our God, Yahawah Ba'Shem Shai, and through his name and the name of his Son, will we push down our enemies and tread them under that rise up against us. This is Ecclesiasticus 28 and 13. Curse the whisperer and double-tongued, for such have destroyed many that were at peace. And there's a lot of you leaders in these camps. You're double-tongued now. Why are you changing up your tune? Hey, if you're a true prophet, then you're going to prophesy the same thing until it comes to pass. You ain't about to change up. What is the MOTB? There was an embargo. It was the white woman at one time. It was, whatever the hell you clowns are saying that it is. Oh, it's talking about good large nations and small nations. Well, what do nations consist of? People, dummy. All right, and we got to call you dudes out because y'all are retarded as hell. And you people that are in these congregations, you gonna really make them let them make you look stupid? Our God is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. We're not a dumb, stupid people, man. We're smart. We're regal. Our forefathers they were sagacious. They were of quick perception. They were wise. They had wit. They weren't stupid. All right? So you people being fooled and swindled by these clowns, then you're a damn disgrace, man. Straight up. That's why I said, study to show thyself approved, not ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. We ain't have nothing to be ashamed about, man. That's why we come and combat against these dudes. But I'm going to get the history of Jehu slaughtering the whole house of Ahab. Okay? Because with that idolatry crap, he had to put their ass down straight up. This is Ecclesiasticus 28:14. A backbiting tongue had disquieted many and driven them from nation to nation. Strong cities have it pulled down and overthrown the houses of great men. You see? A backbiting tongue had cast out virtuous women and deprived them of their labors. Verse 16, whoso hearkeneth unto it shall never find rest and never dwell quietly. So if you give into lies, hey, you ain't never going to dwell quietly. The Lord say he giveth his beloved sleep. All right, we're at rest. We're prisoners of hope, but we're good. We're sound. The Lord have given us rest, man. He's like, hey, all you that are heavy laden, all right, learn of me. I shall give you rest. That's what YAHAWASHI said. Let me get that. Heavy laden. All right, we heard YAHAWASHI. We're good. Even though we're in a heavy situation, we're at peace. Okay? We're not like you damn people worshiping stupid Jesus Christ and God. The same crap that got your ass thrown in slavery. That ain't never freed you from nothing. But yet you still calling on that crap, man. How dumb can you be? You swindled by men and how glamorous they look, or well, I like the way he speaks and all that crap. They say you're supposed to judge a man by his speech. The man shall be known in his words. That's the trial of men, the reasoning of men. All right, judge no man before you hear him speak. It's Matthew 11:26. Even so, Father, this is a prayer that YAHAWASHI gave. For so it seemed good in thy sight. All things are delivered unto me of my Father. And no man knoweth the Son, but the Father. Neither knoweth any man the Father, save the Son. And he, to whomsoever the Son will reveal him. Verse 28, come unto me, all ye that labor in this truth, and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. You see that? The Lord gonna give us rest. YAHAWASHI, not Christ. It says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart and mind, and ye shall find rest for your souls. Dang, how you gonna get rest for your soul? You already rest in your body and your mind, but how do you find rest for your soul? Come into YAHAWASHI, man. It's the only way. Verse 30, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. It's nothing because the Lord is helping us along the way. Now let's get right into it. Okay, went a little long in the rambling and getting certain scriptures to make up the point. But this is the commentaries, and we're going to go there in the book of Kings. All right. Bear with me, brothers. We at 2 Kings. All right. This is it. This is 2 Kings 10:1. And Ahab had 70 sons in Samaria. These are his sons and grandsons, all numbering to this amount of 70. And Ahab had 70 sons in Samaria, and Jehu wrote letters and sent to Samaria unto the rulers of Jezreel, which you go into Jezreel. In the Hebrew, Yazara'ala, it means seat of the power. That's what city he was in. I believe he put down Jezebel and slew 2 other kings. All right, let me see here. Let's get to that point. Ooh. Okay. Let's see here. I'll start at verse 5. And when he came, behold, the captains of the host were sitting. And he said, I have an errand to thee, O captain. And Jehu said, Unto which of all us? And he said, To thee, O captain. And he arose and went into the house, and he poured the oil on his head, and said unto him, Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, power of Israel, I have anointed thee king over the people of the Lord Yahawah, even over Israel, the northern kingdom. And thou shalt smite the house of Ahab thy master, that I may avenge the blood of my servants the prophets by the hand of Jezebel, and the blood of all the servants of the Lord Yahawah at the hand of Jezebel. For the whole house of Ahab shall perish, and I will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, all males, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. And I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Bahasha, the son of Ahijah. And the dogs shall eat Jezebel in the portion of Jezreel, and there shall be none to bury her. And he opened the door and fled. Then Jehu came forth to the servants of his Lord, and one said unto him, Is all well? Therefore came this mad fellow to thee? Hey, because if the dude anointed him, he said what he had to say, and got out of there like, oh, snap. And the men was like, what the fuck is going on? You know? But it was such urgent. It was the spirit of the Lord. Like, hey, you got it. You know what you got to do. Do it, you know? Execute order 144. All right? But that's it. It says, Then Jehu came forth to the servants of his Lord, and one said unto him, Is all well? Wherefore came this mad fellow, this crazy fellow to thee? And he said unto them, Ye know the man and his communication. And they said, It is false. Tell us now. And he said, Thus and thus spake he to me, saying, Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, I have anointed thee king over Israel. Then they hasted and took every man his garment and put it under him on the top of the stairs and blew with trumpets, saying, Jehu is king. And you go into Jehu's name is YAHAWAH, which means Yahawah is he. He is the king. He is the God. He is Lord. He is power over heaven and earth. He is king over Israel. He is our master. He is the one we serve. Okay? Not Christ. And God in Christ. But that's some weak ass bull crap, man. The hell with that crap. You hear Yahawah BAHASHAM, that's power. Yahawah BAHASHAM, that's power. True power. Yahawah BAHASHAM, that's power, man. God in Christ, that's crap, man. It's weak as hell. Fuck that bull crap, man. Straight up. It's a lot I get for the cursing, but hey, man, that's crap. The hell with you niggas out there, man. Now I see why we had to go into slavery, why Israel had to go down. It's niggas like you calling these weak ass idols that can't save your black ass. The only one who can save us is Yahawah BAHASHAM, man. This 2 Kings 9 and 14. So Jehu, the son of Jehoshaphat. So Jehu, his father's name was YAHAWASHI, Yahweh's judgment. And his son's name was Yahawah is he. The son of Nimshi conspired against Joram. Now Joram had kept Ramoth Gilead, which I believe that was the same city Ahab had died at. Who's gonna go up to Ramoth Gilead and fall? It's right up over there. And he and all Israel because of Hazael, king of Syria. But King Joram was returned to be healed in Jezreel, which Jezreel goes back to Yazra'Allah, which means seat of the power. I'm going to keep harping on that. These cities and these lands in certain areas is all spiritual. Why certain men went there, why they were there for that time is all spiritual. It says, but King Joram was returned to be healed in Jezreel, Yazra'Allah, seat of the power, of wounds which the Syrians had given him when he fought with Hazael, king of Syria. And Jehu said, if it be your minds, then let none go forth nor escape out of the city to go tell it in Jezreel. So Jehu rode in a chariot and went to Jezreel, for Joram lay there. And Ahaziah king of Judah, was come down to see Joram. And there stood a watchman on the tower in Jezreel, and he spied the company of Jehu as he came, and said, I see a company. And Joram said, take in horsemen, and send to meet them, and let him say, is it peace? Verse 18. So there went one on horseback to meet him, and said, thus saith the king, is it peace? And Jehu said, what hast thou to do with peace? Turn thee behind me. And the watchman told, saying, the messenger came to them, but he cometh not again. Then he sent out a second on horseback, which came to them and said, thus saith the king, is it peace? And Jehu answered, what hast thou to do with peace? Turn thee behind me. Like, get out of the way. Verse 20. And the watchman told, saying, he came even unto them, and cometh not again. And the driving is like the driving of Jehu, the son of Nimshi. All right. It says, for he, and I got to get Nimshi, actually. Bear with me, brothers. All right, we're going to get that in Matthew Henry, but let me get Nimshi. What does that mean? Okay. Where we at, 19? We're going to get Nimshi. We're going to see what that means. Okay. And then I got to get into the actual slaughter of the house of Ahab as well. Okay. So oh, that's in verse 20. So okay, let's get Nimshi. Yep. All right. So the word there in the Hebrew, H5250, it says namashia. Yeah, namashia. Okay. Rescued. The grandfather of Jehu. I believe his father was YAHAWASHI, the Lord's judgment. So Namashia was rescued by the Lord from the madness of the northern kingdom going after fucking idols, right? And then YAHAWASHI was the Lord's judgment. And then he had his son Jehu, which Yahweh is he. All right? So even though majority of the northern kingdom kings, none of them were completely right. Some of them did good things, but like Jehu, he did a lot of good things, but he still, didn't get to the point of the kings of Judah. A lot of them were righteous and did good, and others did evil, right? But the Lord already had in his mind to take down the northern kingdom by the Assyrians and to take down the southern kingdom by way of the Babylonians. It was already set in stone with the Lord, But that's it, Namashia, rescued, spirit. Now let's read on, 2 Kings 9:20. And the watchman told, saying, he came even unto them, and cometh not again. And the driving is like the driving of Jehu, which is YAHAWAH in the actual Hebrew, which means Yahweh is he, the son of Nimshi, the rescued. For he driveth furiously. Verse 21. And Joram said, make ready. And his chariot was made ready. And Joram, king of Israel, and Ahaziah, king of Judah, like what the hell are y'all even dealing with each other? One is a goddamn idol worshiper, and the other one is supposed to be serving the Lord. So, we're going to see why what is about to happen is going to happen. Joram said, make ready his chariot, and his chariot was made ready. And Joram, king of Israel, and Ahaziah, king of Judah, went out, each in his chariot. And they went out against Jehu and met him in the portion of Naboth, the Jezreelite. And it came to pass, when Joram saw Jehu, that he said, is it peace? Jehu, and he answered, what peace? So long as the whoredoms of thy mother Jezebel and her witchcrafts are so many. And Joram turned his hands and fled and said to Ahaziah, there is treachery, O Ahaziah. And Jehu drew a bow with his full strength and smote Jehoram between his arms. And the arrow went out at his heart. Ooh. And he sunk down in his chariot through. Dead. Out of here, man. Clown. I don't give a damn, you king. You dead now, punk. It says, then said Jehu to Bidkar, his captain, take up and cast him in the portion of the field of Naboth, the Jezreelite. For remember how that when I and thou rode together after Ahab his father, the Lord Yahawah laid this burden upon him. Surely I have seen yesterday the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons, saith the Lord Yahawah, and I will requite thee in this plat, saith the Lord Yahawah. Now therefore take and cast him into the plat of ground, or plate of ground, according to the word of Yahawah. But when Ahaziah, the king of Judah, saw this, he fled by the way of the garden house, and Jehu followed after him, and said, smite him also in the chariot. And they did so at the going up of Gur, which is by Ibalim. And he fled to Megiddo and died there. And his servants carried him in a chariot to Jerusalem and buried him in his sepulchre with his father in the city, with his fathers in the city of David. And in the 11th year of Joram, the son of Ahab, began Ahaziah to reign over Judah. And when Jehu was come to Jezreel, Jezebel heard of it, and she painted her face and tied her head and looked out of the window. And as Jehu entered into the gate, she said, had Zimri peace, who slew his master? And he lifted up his face to the window and said, who is on my side? Who? And there looked out to him 2 or 3 eunuchs, and he said, throw her down. So they threw her down, and some of her blood was sprinkled on the wall and on the horses, and he trode her underfoot. And when he came in, he did eat and drink, and said, go see now this cursed woman, and bury her, for she is a king's daughter. And they went to bury her, but they found no more of her than the skull and the feet and the palm of her hands, and it all came back full circle. All right. Wherefore they came again and told him, and he said, this is the word of Yahawah, which he spake by his servant Elijah the Tishbite, saying, in the portion of Jezreel shall dogs eat the flesh of Jezebel. Now let's go into chapter 10. We're going to go through it, Lord's willing. All right, so we're going to go to 10, and we're going to get the account, a little bit of it, you know. And we're going to read on down through it, if anything. All right. Now this is it says Jehu kills Ahab's family. All right. It says Ahab had 70 sons living in the city. I'm reading in the NLT. So Jehu wrote letters and sent them to Samaria, to the elders and officials of the city, and to the guardians of King Ahab's sons and his grandsons. He said, the king's sons are with you, and you have at your disposal chariots, horses, and a fortified city. They were in Samaria. And weapons. As soon as you receive this letter, select the best qualified of your master's sons to be your king, and prepare to fight for Ahab's dynasty. But they were paralyzed with fear and said, we've seen that 2 kings couldn't stand against this man. What can we do? So the palace and the city administrators, together with the elders and the guardians of the king's sons, sent this message to Jehu. We are your servants, and will do anything you tell us. We will not make anyone king. Do whatever you think is best. Jehu responded with the second letter. If you are on my side and are going to obey me, bring the heads of your master's sons to me at Jezreel by this time tomorrow. Now the 70 sons of the king were being cared for by the leaders of Samaria, where they had been raised since childhood. Verse 7. When the letters arrived, the leaders killed all 70 of the king's sons. They placed their heads in baskets and presented them to Jehu at Jezreel. And that's beautiful because Jezreel, Yazara'Allah, means seat of the power. But these niggas went after idols and bullshit, after fucking Jezebel's demon, Baal, that clown. All right, they didn't go after the Lord. So they weren't the seeds of the power anymore. In spirit, they were spiritually bastards, man. Though they were Israelites, you know, they're still Israelites. They're still Yahushua, he prince of the power. But they went so far left, the Lord was like, wipe these niggas out, man. Take them out. All right? They ain't the seed of the power. All right, take them out. All right? Lord wiped out his whole house at Jezreel, brought those heads to the city, all right, of the seed of the power. All right? The messenger went to Jehu and said, they have brought the heads of the king's sons. So Jehu ordered, pile them in 2 heaps at the entrance of the city gate. Leave them there until morning. In the morning, he went out and spoke to the crowd that had gathered around them. You are not to blame, he told them. Going into you people in these other groups, you calling on Christ, I mean, you're not to blame. You know, you've been calling on, you think that's what the Lord's name is, but no, are you not a Hebrew? Does not the Lord have a Hebrew name? Does he not have a true name? God is just a title. And Christ, that goes back to the Latin and the Greek, or Christos, which just means anointed. But who anointed the Lord? Why is he the anointed? What is his true title? HaMashiach, that's Hebrew. That's our language. His name is YAHAWASHI, which means he delivers. And the Father's name is YAHAWAH, which means he is. He exists. Okay? It all makes sense, but you're not to blame for this. We got to cut the heads off your leaders. They need to be put down, slain, thrown down. All right? Because they're off. They're wicked as hell. They know what the F they're doing. All right? But the Lord going to take them out. In high places. Woo! Let me get that. High places, man. Ultimately, it's talking about the elites. But there's a lot of wicked people among our nation, man, that's in high esteem, that has high ranking. But don't forget about Abraham, Korah, and Dathan. They had high ranking among the people, and the Lord swallowed their ass up. And everybody that pertained unto them. Don't forget about that. All right? Let's see here. Oh, man, there it is. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 5. Let me, man, I'll start at, man. Yeah, it's really talking about the world powers, but hey, you men in Israel that are wicked, that's doing the work of the Lord deceitfully, you're held in renown as well, in a sense, among our people. This Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 3, the point is in 5. It says, for power is given you of the Lord, and sovereignty from the highest. Who shall try your works and search out your counsels? Because, being ministers of his kingdom, ye have not judged aright, nor kept the law, nor walked after the counsel of YAHAWAH. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. Woo! For mercy will soon pardon the meanest, but mighty men shall be mightily tormented. All right, see? So if you think you're a mighty man, you're going to be mightily tormented. You through. All right, verse 7. For he which is Lord, Yahweh Bashimashah over all, shall fear no man's person, neither shall he stand in awe of any man's greatness. For he hath made the small and great, and care for all alike. But a sore trial shall come upon the mighty, whether you be mighty in your riches or in esteem, or you got men under you, the Lord is going to weigh you in the balance. Okay? He going to weigh you in the balance. But let me read verse 5 again. Horribly and speedily shall he come upon you, for a sharp judgment shall be to them that be in high places. That's it. Now let's read on. 2 Kings 10:9. In the morning he went out and spoke to the crowd that had gathered around him. You are not to blame, he told them. I am the one who conspired against my master and killed him. But who killed all these? You see? So yeah, we going against you niggas in these camps. Yeah, you might be our brothers, we might know you, but you're wicked as hell. And your whole house is gonna be wiped out and put down. Your whole organizations are gonna be cut down, hewn down by the prophets and everything that pertains unto you because of your wickedness and your evil. All right? You know what you're doing. You can't, but I'm Israel. The Lord won't give a fuck about that. And let me go into, if you don't seek the Lord your power, You're going to be put to death, whether man or woman. All right? Lord don't give a shit about none of that, man. You fucking clowns. Think this is a joke? You think this is a game? Lord's going to destroy a lot of you dudes, man. All right? This is not a game. There we go. 2 Chronicles 15:13. That whosoever would not seek the Lord, YAHAWAH, power of Israel, should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman. Lord's not playing no games at all. Okay? 2 Kings 10:10. You can be sure that the message of the Lord Yahweh, BAHASHAM, that was spoken concerning Ahab's family would not fail. The Lord Yahweh, BAHASHAM, declared through his servant Elijah that this would happen. Then Jehu killed all who were left of Ahab's relatives living in Jezreel, and all his important officials, his personal friends, and his priests. So Ahab was left without a single survivor. Woo! Verse 12. Then Jehu set out for Samaria along the way, while he was at Beth Akkad, yep. And let's see what that means. All right, Lord's willing, this is edifying. We're going into these words. We're going into the history. We're going into, hey, the Lord is about to lay down all you fucking idol worshiping clowns, man. The Lord's not effing around. How dare you, man? How effing dare you? Oh, there we go, Bethakar. The shearing, I believe. Ooh, 144. Oh, man. Yeah, this H 1044. 144. The Bethakar is by Yath. Iquad. Now, what does Iquad mean? The house of binding. Ooh. Ooh. Ah, man. I.e. shearing house. Woo. Oh, man, the Lord is binding you. You know, you bound. Hey, but put these in the bundle to burn them. Ooh, let me get that. Bundle. I believe it's like the same word, but those will not get that. But let me jump out of there real quick. We're going to go to this, the etymology. We're going to go to binding. Okay, man. See, all these cities and places mean something. They ain't just, oh, this is a cute name, you know? No, it means something. It's spiritual. I mean, you got to look at it like that. Like, damn, what the fuck is going on? You know? Now, this is binding, act or action of securing, uniting. Ooh, things that binds, meaning covering of a book. Ooh, a binding. All right, so the Lord is bounding all you wicked ass people together to be destroyed and slain in one place. Having power to bind, the Lord is binding you together. All right, putting you together, putting you in a bundle to burn your ass. Certain bundles going to be gathered into the barns, which is the chariots, and others are going to be gathered into bundles to burn them. This is Matthew 13:30. Woo! Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest, which is the end of the world, I will say to the reapers, the angels, gather ye together first the tares, goddamn, fakes, phonies. All right, really is going into our people that may look like us, but they're really Edomites or other nations, and then vice versa. The Lord is only looking for the wheat, his people, and not the tares. All right, but then it goes for you fucking clowns in these camps. You posing as Israel, you dress the part, you look the part, but you're fucking agents and goddamn spies, and the Lord gonna bind your ass and throw you into the fire, man. It says, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn. See, the Lord used bind right there for the bundles to be burned. Nuclear fire, man. So the Lord's going to burn you, wipe you out, destroy you, put you down. You're going to be nothing. Through. The hell up out of here, man. So, hey, the Lord got you in the house of shearing, the house of binding. All right, the threshing floor. Let me get shearing real quick. All right, shearing. All right, to shear. Scissors. Oh, there. Lord going to cut you off to cleave. Ooh. Hew, cut with the sharp instrument. Ooh, so you've been hewn, hey, by the prophets, man. Let me get that. Hewn. Hewn, hey, and there's 144. Ah, man, that's the speed. You can't make this up. Hewn. Damn, that's spirit. And there's 144. Abba Rataza, you know. Salakia, hewn. Where is it at in the Hosea 6 and 5 or 5 and 6? I always get it mixed up. By the prophets, slain, or hewn. Is it hewn down? Nah, it's here. Slain. Okay. Yep, Hosea 6 and 5. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth. And thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth. BARAK YAHAWASHI. So we going to cut you dudes with this word. We going to hew your ass down. You have been found in the house of binding to be burned. And you have been found in the house of shearing. You're going to be cut down. Beth Iquad. Okay? Bayath Iquad. And that's where those sons were slain, and all that pertained to Ahab was found there. All right. Oh, well, actually, he's on his way to Bayath Iquad of the shepherds, right? But this is where, guess what? Guess who's gonna meet him? Just niggas, man. All this fucking unity camp bullshit, but you united in who? Fucking Christ? Well, the Lord gonna cut your ass down. All right? Lord ain't for no Christ. He ain't for that. Who the fuck is that? This is 2 Kings 10 and 12. Then Jehu set out for Samaria along the way. While he was at Beth, or Bayath Iquad, the house of shearing, the house of binding of the shepherds, he met some relatives of King Ahaziah of Judah. Who are you? He asked them. And they replied, we are relatives of King Ahaziah, which are the Israelites from the southern kingdom. They had to be Judites. All right, because Ahaziah, if he was a king of Judah, then they're Judites, so-called Negroes. What the hell y'all going to the north knowing damn well what they about? The fuck are y'all doing? That's pretty much what he thinking, like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Fuck y'all going up there to them for? Yeah, I know they Israelites, but they bugged out. Fuck are y'all doing? You know? Says, we are relatives of King Ahaziah. We are going to visit the sons of King Ahab and the sons of the queen mother. What the fuck? He's looking like, what the fuck? There ain't no queens in Israel. The fuck? There's only kings, princes, and princesses. All women, man. There ain't no queens here. The fuck? And not even knowing that he already put her ass to death, slain the 2 kings, and slaughtered the whole house of Ahab, his sons. And he's looking at them like, you dummies. You don't even know what the fuck is going on. You know? Queen mother. What the fuck is that? There ain't no queens in Israel, man. Says, take them alive, Jehu shouted to his men. And they captured all 42 of them and killed them at the well of Beth Iquad. They bound their ass up and slaughtered their ass. They just as the city states, the house of shearing, the house of binding. Woo! None of them escaped. Woo! Lord is cold with it, man. This is the poetic justice. 2 McFlies with the same. Hey, that's the spirit. Verse 15. When Jehu left there, he met Jehonadab, son of Rechab, who was coming to meet him. After they had greeted each other, Jehu said to him, are you as loyal to me as I am to you? Yes, I am, Jehonadab replied. If you are, Jehu said, then give me your hand. You know, he stretched out his hand, you know. So Jehonadab put out his hand, and Jehu helped him into the chariot, pulled him up, like, let's go. Then Jehu said, now come with me and see how devoted I am to the Lord YAHAWAH. So Jehonadab rode along with him. When Jehu arrived in Samaria, he killed everyone who was left there from Ahab's family, just as the Lord YAHAWAH had promised through Elijah. Woo! Now he's about to slaughter the servants of Baal. And I'm going to read down to that. Then we're going to get into the commentary. And we're going to close on out. And Lord's woman, this was edifying. The fight for Jerusalem. The cutting off of idolatry, man. All right? The casting down of these idols, man. This Jehu kills, it says, Jehu kills the priests of Baal. Verse 18, then Jehu called a meeting of all the people of the city and said to them, Ahab's worship of Baal was nothing compared to the way I will worship him. Therefore summon all the prophets and worshipers of Baal and call together all his priests. See to it that every one of them comes, for I am going to offer a great sacrifice to Baal. Anyone who fails to come will be put to death. But Jehu's cunning plan was to destroy all the worshippers of Baal. Then Jehu ordered, prepare a solemn assembly to worship Baal. So they did. He sent messengers throughout all Israel, summoning, which is the northern kingdom, those who worship Baal. And guess who Baal is in this time? Jesus Christ. That's who it is. Because that's not the name of our Savior. That's not his true title or his name. His name is YAHAWASHI. His true title is HaMashiach. His father is Yahawah, the power of heaven and earth, the father of spirits, the one that sits on the throne. That's who we serve. That's who our forefathers served. That's who Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob served. YAHAWAH. BAHASHAM Yahawashi, that's who David called upon, and Moses, and all the prophets, and the men of old. They called upon Yahawah, BAHASHAM Yahawashi. So you niggas worshiping Baal in this time, you niggas ain't no different. Worshiping fucking Christ. Fuck out of here. That's why you niggas is killing each other. Reservoir dogs. Dummies. All right, the Lord is keeping his men completely away from you niggas, man. All right, we doing exactly what the Lord told us to do. We're sheep among wolves. We're wise as serpents, harmless as doves. We're staying away from you niggas, man. All right? And when the time comes, hey, we ain't going to keep back our sword from blood through the spirit. The Lord going to turn us up and make us weapons and battle axes of war to break down and break in pieces all that ain't right, man. Now, this is 2 Kings 10 and 20. Then Jehu ordered, prepare a solemn assembly to worship Baal. So they did. He sent messengers throughout all Israel, summoning those who worship Baal. They all came. Not a single one remained behind. And they filled the temple of Baal from one end to the other. And Jehu instructed the keeper of the wardrobe, be sure that every worshiper of Baal wears one of these robes. See, you got niggas all uniformed, dressed all fucking alike. Like, what the hell? But hey, make sure all the niggas that worship a damn idol wear the same goddamn thing. Because they're fucking clowns. All right? That's what as the Jehu said, hey, make sure these niggas wear all this so I can know who they all are. All right? So you can put them down. You know who's who. All right. And Jehu instructed the keepers of the wardrobe, be sure that every worshiper of Baal wears one of these robes. So robes were given to them. Right? You know, a damn fucking package and all that bullshit. Here you go. Then Jehu, which is YAHAWAH, Yahawah is he, went into the temple of Baal with Jehonadab, son of Rechab. Jehu said to the worshippers of Baal, make sure no one who worships the Lord Yahawah is here. Only those who worship Baal. They're like, yeah, it's Christ. Yeah, Christ. And ain't nobody that worship Yahawah here. Yahawah, ain't nobody here that like that. Okay? We're here for Christ. Get the fuck out of here, man. Hey, but Jehu was playing a weak ass. So they were all inside the temple to offer sacrifices and burnt offerings. Now Jehu had stationed 80 of his men outside the building and had warned them, if you let anyone escape, you will pay for it with your own life. Verse 25, as soon as Jehu had finished sacrificing the burnt offering, he commanded his guards and officers, go in and kill all of them. Don't let a single one escape. So they killed them all with their swords, and the guards and the officers dragged their bodies outside. Then Jehu's men went into the innermost fortress of the temple of Baal. They dragged out the sacred pillars, used the worship of Baal, used in the worship of Baal, and burned it. Let me read that again. They dragged out the sacred pillar, used in the worship of Baal, and burned it. They smashed the sacred pillar and wrecked the temple of Baal, converting it into a public toilet as it remains to this day. It's nothing, man. In this way, Jehu destroyed every trace of Baal worship from Israel. He did not, however, destroy the gold calves at Bethel and Dan, which Jeroboam, son of Nebat, had caused Israel to sin. Because the Lord already had in his mind for the Assyrians to come through and lay waste. All right? Because the Lord has it in store for Jacob's trouble. He ain't going to stop that from coming. It don't matter if we all do the right thing. The Lord still has to bring Jacob's trouble. 2/3 of his people have to be fucking wiped off because they're wicked demons. And the Lord already put it in his mind to do such things. So even all the good we do, it is only for the elect at this time. Death and destruction to the rest of our people. We'll see you on the other side. Okay? Lord's when I'm one of those men to make it. It says, nonetheless, the Lord Yahweh said to Jehu, you have done well in following my instructions to destroy the family of Ahab. Therefore, your descendants will be kings of Israel down to the 4th generation. And that's it. That's it. You know? And we'll end it there, but let's go into the commentary real quick. See if I got even any time. Got a little time, but we're going to go into it just a little bit, according to Matthew Henry. All right. Now, this is the commentary according to Matthew Henry, chapter 10. We have in this chapter a further account of Jehu's execution of his commission. He cut off all Ahab's sons, all Ahab's kindred, Ahab's idolatry, his zeal against this he took Jehonadab to be witness to, summoned all the worshippers of Baal to attend, and slew them all, and then abolished that idolatry. A short account, bullet point 2, of the administration of his government. Bullet point 1, the old idolatry of Israel, the worship of the calves, was retained. This brought Yahweh's judgment upon them by Hazael, which is king of Syria, with which his reign concludes. We left Jehu in quiet possession of Jezreel, triumphing over Joram and Jezebel, and we must now attend his further motions. He knew the whole house of Ahab must be cut off, and therefore proceeded in this bloody work, and did not do it deceitfully or by halves. Jeremiah 48:10, that's why I brought that out. It says, bullet point 1, he got the heads of all the sons of Ahab cut off by their own guardians at Samaria, 70 sons or grandsons, but I believe his sons, might have been grandsons too, some scholars believe, but Ahab might have had that many children, the concubines, stuff like that. And Ahab, it says Ahab had Gideon's number, all right, Judges 8:30, in such a number that bore his name, his family was likely to be perpetuated, and yet it is extirpated or extirpated all at once. Such a quiver full of arrows could not protect his house from divine vengeance. Numerous families, if vicious, must not expect to be long prosperous. These sons of Ahab were now at Samaria, a strong city perhaps, brought thither upon occasion of the war with Syria, as a place of safety, or upon notice of Jehu's insurrection. With them were the rulers of Jezreel, that is, the great officers of the court, who went to Samaria to secure themselves or to consult what was to be done. Those of them that were yet under tuition had their tutors with them, who were entrusted with their education and learning, agreeable to their birth and quality, but it is to be feared, brought them up in the idolatries of their father's house, and made them all worshippers of Baal. Jehu did not think fit to bring his forces to Samaria to destroy them, but that the hand of Yahawah, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, might appear the more remarkably in it, made their guardians their murderers. Bullet point 1. He sent a challenge to their friends to stand by them. You that are hearty well-wishers to the house of Ahab, entirely in its interests, now is your time to appear for it. Samaria is a strong city. You are in possession of it. You have forces at command. You may choose out the likeliest person of all the royal family to head you. You know you are not tied to the eldest, unless he be the best and meetest of your master's sons. If you have any spirit in you, Show it, and set one of them on his father's throne, and stand by him with your lives and fortunes. Not that he desired they should do this, or expected they would, but thus he upbraided them with their cowardice and utter inability to contest with the divine counsels. Do if you dare, and see what will come of it. Those that have forsaken their religion have often with it lost both their sense and their courage, and deserve to be upbraided with it. Hereby he gained from their submission. They prudently reasoned with themselves. Behold, two kings stood before him, but fail as sacrifice to his rage. How then shall we stand? Therefore they sent him a surrender of themselves. We are thy servants, thy subjects, and will do all that thou shalt bid us, right or wrong, and will set up nobody in competition with thee. They saw it was to no purpose to contend with him, and therefore it was their interest to submit to him. With much more reason may we thus argue ourselves into a subjection to the great God, YAHAWASHI. Many kings and great men have fallen before his wrath for their wickedness. How then shall we stand? Do we provoke the Lord, YAHAWASHI, to jealousy? Are we stronger than he? No, we must either bend or break. You see that? So, hey, call all Yamla, YAHAWASHI, for our apostles and elders, man. We submit unto YAHAWASHI and him alone, and he makes us powerful. But all you other clowns submitting to Christ or some damn nigga that's a general, hey, you gonna bend and break under the mighty hand and power of Yahweh Yahushua, his word. All right? Bullet point 3. This was improved so far as to make them executioners of those whom they had tuition. If you be mine, bring me the heads of your master's sons by tomorrow at this time. Though he knew it must be done and was loth to do it himself, one would think he could not expect they should do it. Could they betray such a trust? Could they be cruel to their master's sons? It seems so low did they stoop in their adoration to the rising sun that they did to the rising sun that they did it. They cut off the heads of those 70 princes, sent them in baskets as a present to Jehu, or in baskets, a present to Jehu. Learn hence not to trust in a friend, nor to put confidence in a guide, not governed by conscience. One can scarcely expect that he who has been false to his God should ever be faithful to his prince. But observe Yahweh's righteousness in their unrighteousness. These elders of Jezreel have been wickedly obsequious to Jezebel's orders for the murder of Naboth. 1 Kings 21:11. She gloried, it is like, in the power she had over them, and now the same base spirit makes them as pliable to Jehu and as ready to obey his orders for the murder of Ahab's sons. Let none aim at arbitrary power, lest they be found rolling a stone, which sometime or other will return upon them. Princes that make their people slaves take the readiest way to make them rebels, and by forcing men's consciences, as Jezebel did, they lose their hold of them. When the separated heads were presented to Jehu, he slyly upbraided those that were the executioners, yet owned the hand of Yahweh in it. Okay? Bullet point 1. He seems to blame those that had been the executioners of this vengeance. The heads were laid in 2 heaps at the gate, the proper place of judgment. There he acquitted the people before Yahweh and the world. You are righteous. And by what the rulers of Samaria had now done, comparatively acquitted himself. I slew but one. They have slain all these. I did it by conspiracy and with design. They have done this merely in compliance and with an implicit obedience. Let not the people of Samaria, nor any of the friends of the house of Ahab, ever reproach me for what I have done, when their own elders and the very guardians of the orphans have done this. It is common for those who have done something based to attempt the mitigation of their own reproach by drawing others into do something worse. But bullet point 2, he resolves all into the righteous judgment of Yahweh. The Lord have done that which he spoke by Elijah. Yahweh is not the author of any man's sin, but even by which men do from bad principles, Yahweh serves his own purpose and glorifies his own name. And he is righteous in that wherein men are unrighteous. When the Assyrian is made the rod of Yahweh's anger and the instrument of his justice, he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so. He proceeded to destroy all that remained of the house of Ahab, not only those that descended from him, but those that were in any relation to him. All the officers of his household, ministers of state, those in command under him, called here his great men, all his kinsfolk and acquaintance, who had been partners with him in his wickedness, and his priests or domestic chaplains, who he employed in his idolatrous service, and who strengthened his hand that he should not turn from his evil way. Having done this in Jezreel, he did the same in Samaria. Slew all that remained to Ahab in Samaria. This was bloody work, and is not now in any case to be drawn into precedent. Let the guilty suffer, but not the guiltless for their sakes. Perhaps such terrible destruction as there were intended as types of the final destruction of all the ungodly, Yahweh has a sword bathed in heaven, which will come down upon the people of his curse, which is Edom. You know they ain't gonna put Edom in their damn devils. Should have put Idum in, you mother effers, and be filled with blood. Then his eyes will not spare, neither will he pity. And that's it, man. So Lord ain't about to, the Lord has a sword bathed in heaven, those missiles ultimately, for all you assholes, man. The Lord is gonna get you all. There's no escape. All right, so we at on time, not bad. All right, so I'm about to close out. I want to get a little bit of the slaughter of them clowns, Baal. Okay, where we at with it though? All right, so we at the end of the chapter. Let me get a little bit of that. Okay, here we go. Start about right. Yeah, I want to get all of it, but we'll see here. All right. This is bullet point 1. By the wile and by a fraud, he brought them together to the temple of Baal. He pretended he would worship Baal more than ever Ahab had done. Perhaps he spoke this ironically, or tried to or try the body of the people, whether they would oppose such a resolution as this and would resent his threatening to increase his predecessors' exactions, and say, if it be so, we have no part in Jehu, nor inheritance in the son of Nimshi. But it rather seems to have been spoken purposely to deceive the worshippers of Baal, and then it cannot be justified. The truth of Yahweh needs not any man's lie. He issued a proclamation requiring the attendance of all the worshippers of Baal to join with him in a sacrifice to Baal. Not only the prophets and priests, but all throughout the kingdom who worship Baal, who were not nearly so many as they had been in Elijah's time. Jehu's friends, we may suppose, were aware of what he designed and were not offended at it. But the bigoted, besotted Baalites began to think themselves very happy, and that now they should see golden days again. Joram had put away the image of Baal. If Jehu will restore it, they have what they would have, and come up to Samaria with joy from all parts to celebrate the solemnity. And they are pleased to see the house of Baal crowded, to see his priests in their vestments, and themselves perhaps with some badges or others to notify their relation to Baal. For there were vestments for all his worshipers. He took care, bullet point 2, he took care that none of the servants of the Lord should be among them. This they took as a provision to preserve the worship of Baal from being profaned by strangers. But it was a wonder that they did not by this see themselves brought into a snare and discern a design upon them. No marvel if those that suffer themselves to be deceived by Baal, as all idolaters were by their idols, are deceived by Jehu to their destruction. He gave order for the cutting of them all off, and Jehonadab joined with him therein. When a strict search was made, lest any of the servants of Yahweh should, either for company or curiosity, have got among them, lest any wheat should be mixed with those tares. That's the spirit. I brought that up. And when 80 men were set to stand guard at all the avenues to Baal's temple, that none might escape, then the guards were sent in to put them all to the sword and to mingle their blood with their sacrifices in a way of just revenge, as they themselves had sometimes done, when in their blind devotion they cut themselves with knives and lancets till the blood gushed out. This was accordingly done, and the doing of it, though seemingly barbarous, was, considering the nature of their crime, really righteous. The Lord Yahweh, whose name is jealous, is a jealous power. The idolaters being thus destroyed, and the idolatry itself was utterly abolished, the building about the house of Baal, which were so many and so stately, that they are here called the city, where Baal's priests and their families lived, were destroyed. All the little images, statues, pictures, or shrines which beautify Baal's temple with the great images of Baal himself were brought out and burnt. And the temple of Baal was broken down and made a dunghill, the common sink or sewer of the city, that the remembrance of it might be blotted out or made infamous. Thus was the worship of all quite destroyed, at least for the present, out of Israel, though it had once prevailed so far that there were but 7,000 of all the thousands of Israel that had not bowed the knee to Baal, and those concealed, which is a complete number, not actually 7,000. Thus will Yahawah BAHASHAM destroy all the gods of the heathen, and sooner or later triumph over them all, which the Lord has already triumphed over them all. But this has been the fight for Jerusalem, the destruction of idolatry. Those when you have been edified, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RAWCHAA, QADASH, by whom we do function, double honors unto my apostles, my elders, and my teachers at Great Millstone that are ruling well and continue to do so. Salutations, peace, and blessings unto the hopeful elect, that house of David, to you brothers out there fighting this good fight of faith. Shalawam, keep it up to you sisters doing that, which is becoming a women. Shalawam to those that are addicted unto this ministry. I say Shalawam, Lord's willing. You have been edified. Until the next time, I say Shalawam and woe, destruction unto you that worships idols, for you shall be hewn down and cut down, and the Lord shall triumph over you all in the end. And he has already done so. Through the name of Yahweh BAHASHAM shall we push down all our enemies, whether they be foreign or domestic. So with that, giving all praises, glory, and honor once again unto Yahweh BAHASHAM, double honors unto my teachers, the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Salutations, peace, and blessings unto you brothers and you beautiful sisters and you believers out there that trust in the name of Yahweh BAHASHAM. Until the next time, I say Shalawam. Lord's willing, on to the next one. Shalom.